Cardiac arrest is a very common diagnosis in our society. It can happen at any time and to any body. The patient will typically not necessarily feel any symptoms at all. They may suddenly collapse to the ground without any preceding warning.
Lulu, you all right? Lulu, you all right? He's not breathing. He's not breathing.
Who's got a cell phone? I got one. I got one. I got one. Wait a minute. 911.
Talbot County 911. Do you have an emergency?
Buddy of mine just passed out on the first day.
He's got no
Got
pulse.
no pulse.
Okay, sir, calm down. What is your name? Okay, what is the exact location at Talbot?
Cardiac arrest. Place to be located Hog Neck Golf Course on the first tee.
Dale, notify Hog Neck that there's a cardiac arrest on the first tee. Have someone respond out there with an AED.
Okay. Hog Neck Golf Course, Mike speaking. Cardiac arrest, what hold? Number one, thank you.
Cardiac arrest number one has. Okay, I got it. I got the radio.
When a person has a cardiac arrest, they typically stop breathing and have no heartbeat on your initial examination. The treatment again involves early recognition and prompt defibrillation as fast as possible. As soon as the defibrillator is ready, it should be applied and a defibrillation shock applied as soon as possible.
Stand clear. Push to shock.
Unfortunately, we've lost 3 people here since we've been open in the past 25 years, and people do suffer heart attacks, cardiac arrest at the golf course, and we have 30 people at this time trained who work here at the golf course. There are also out on the courses, rangers and marshals. In case somebody does have a cardiac arrest, they can call into the pro shop. The AED is taken out to them and the electrodes are hooked up, and if they are in arrest, we can shock them back to life.
Talbot County, in conjunction with Operation Safe Heart, has become one of the first counties in the United States to widely distribute automatic external defibrillators. They are now located in public buildings, leading businesses, and police cars throughout the county.
At Hill's Drug Stores in downtown Easton, we have a defibrillator and we're participating. All of our employees are trained and feel very confident in using this machine. Hopefully we'll never need it, but if we ever do, we have it and we're ready to help anyone who would need it.
Hi, this is Drew Jensen with Cross Court Athletic Club in Easton. We're participating in Operation Safe Heart because we feel it's important for our members. We hope we never have to use this, but if we do, our entire staff is fully trained on the AED.
Hi, I'm Mike Menzies with Easton Bank and Trust, and I want you to know we can start your checking account, your savings account, your certificate of deposit, or even your heart with AED Life Pack.
This project came about because of the development of the AED, Automated External Defibrillator, and the fact that 6 local co-sponsors stepped forward, donating $10,000 each to form a pool where we could buy down the price of the defibrillators to small businesses.
The Talbot County Council donated $50,000 into the same pool, with the condition that County ALS coordinator head the program and train the operators at the businesses. Each participating business agreed to contribute $1,000 toward the purchase price of the AED, maintain the units, and keep a trained staff member on every shift that the business is open. The county also purchased a number of the units and placed them in services in the sheriff's vehicles, Hog Neck Golf Course, Talbot County Courthouse, and many other county locations.
Cardiac arrest has touched all of us in our community. My own father died at his desk of a cardiac arrest on a routine day alone in his office, and I'm sure had a defibrillator been available, he'd be with us today.
Hi, I'm Kelly Cox from Dockside Express Tour and Shuttle Service. We have our AED not only to protect our own customers, but to also provide a lifeline for all the boats in St. Michael's Harbor. We don't leave home without it.
All right, strike. We're here with the Wednesday Morning Ladies Bowling League. Just got a strike there. And I'm Will Howard, and I want to talk to you about how emergency services have improved in Talbot County. In 1973, in this bowling center, called back in those days Chesapeake Bowling Lanes, a league bowler was getting a bowling ball out of his locker. Before he even started to bowl, he keeled over, went through a plate glass window, and everybody rushed to his aid. He'd stopped breathing. Our front desk personnel called 911, and an ambulance came over quickly, and they did what they did in 1973, and they did it well. It was basic life support, nicknamed Scoop and Swoop. They grabbed the patient, got him in the ambulance as quickly as possible. While one of the EMTs was giving him resuscitation, they were rushing him to the hospital. He arrived there dead on arrival. That was fairly commonplace back in those days. Now, Talbot County was the first county on the Eastern Shore to have a group of firefighters who volunteered to be paramedics on a volunteer basis. And I'm here with Wayne Dyatt, who was one of those first 5. Tell me about that. Why did you do it?
Well, back in the early 80s, like you said, we were all volunteers working with the Easton Volunteer Fire Department, volunteering our time. Easton had a very busy ambulance service in those days, and they still do today. We knew that there was a higher level of care available in mostly the urban areas up in the big cities, but we also knew that that higher level of care came at a cost. People were being paid to train to that higher level of care, and they also were being paid to provide the service. A group of 5 of us decided that we wanted that service for our constituents in Easton and the Talbot County area. We obligated the 1 year's time that it would take to train, along with keeping our full-time jobs. And we took the training, and once we had the training, we knew we wanted to provide it for the whole county. The Easton Volunteer Fire Department worked graciously with us. They provided us a vehicle to provide the service. We went countywide. The 5 volunteers provided 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365-day service for over a year in order to demonstrate the need and how much care improved with that level of care. Once we demonstrated that need, and over a year's time, the county picked up the service, partially funding it. Dr. David Hill built us a beautiful location to run out of so we could provide the countywide service, and that's how it started. Today, here we are in 2009. It is the largest singly funded county council department. They have over 80 full-time and part-time employees, and a budget of well over $3 million. So that's how it started. That's where we are today. We're very proud of the service that we have in the county.
Now, Talbot County has a higher population of senior citizens than anywhere in the state of Maryland. As a matter of fact, we've got a higher population of senior citizens than the state of Florida, surprisingly. So that was very, very important to senior citizens. Our percentage today hasn't changed much from 30 years ago. So the fact that, tell me what the difference is between paramedic and basic life support.
The paramedic level trained personnel back in those days, a cardiac rescue technician level, afforded us the opportunity to start IVs in the field, monitor defibrillation. We had the ability to administer cardiac drugs for cardiac arrest victims, and also went to advanced levels of training in patient care and patient management from accident scenes and things of that nature.
Now, Wayne is also the vice president of Talbot Paramedic Foundation. Talbot Paramedic Foundation was started in 1987 to try and assist he and the other representatives. We assisted them with funding as well as equipment. In 2001, Talbot Paramedic Foundation approached the county council and asked them if they would match $50,000 of our donations and donations from our county with $50,000 of theirs to try and purchase over 100 of these units. These are a LifePak defibrillator. Now, defibrillator shocks the heart. So if that bowler today were to fall down, we would save his life with this device. This device has most recently been used twice this year to save 2 Talbot County citizens, one at Lowe's Building Supply and the other at the YMCA, where we're going to go next and talk to the person who was trained by the paramedics and saved a life. We're here with Erin Hughes. Her nickname is E, and E is, let's see, what's your position here?
I'm the Aquatics and Camp Director.
Aquatics and Camp Director. You're also a lifesaver. You're a certified lifesaver, right?
Yes, I am a certified lifeguard and certified lifeguard instructor.
And you also perform CPR and know all those kind of good things?
Yes, I'm certified in CPR for the professional rescuer and first aid and AED.
Are you the person that they scream for in the event of an emergency?
Yes, they do, and E's really good to do that, so yeah.
Okay, now you've had a defibrillator here for how long, do you know?
We've had it for over 4 years.
Over 4 years?
Yes, because I've worked here for 4 years, so over that.
Okay, and your staff has been trained in how to use that, right?
Correct. We do regular trainings year-round. We do a couple for just CPR, just for AED, for adult, child, and infant, for different departments.
Do you ever do drills?
Yes, we do ongoing drills for the lifeguard staff, and we also, that includes the front desk staff, which are actual responders to when an alarm is hit for an emergency or when somebody comes up and says they need help.
Okay, so you were pressed into action in August. Do you remember the date?
I actually do not. I know that it was the end of August.
End of August. Okay, so let's take a walk in. I want you to take the microphone and you tell me what happened on that day, where you were and what happened.
Okay. All right, well, I was on my way towards the front desk when the trainer came running and saying that they needed to call 911. Someone was unconscious in the wellness center. So I came down to the wellness center and followed the person carrying the AED. And we came over here to this spot where Mr. Warfield had become unconscious, and they lowered him to the ground. Another gentleman, Bobby Tate, got the AED out, got it ready. The trainer and I then got Mr. Warfield prepped to administer the AED.
What did you do? What do you mean prepped?
Prepped, basically we pulled up his shirt to make sure that nothing would interfere with the AED, that he was laying down. We had his head tilted back to check for any breathing or pulse. So I checked for breathing and a pulse. He was not breathing. I administered 2 rescue breaths.
Okay, tell me what was his physical appearance at that point?
His face was turning blue. His eyes were completely open and not responsive. And so we went ahead and hooked up the AED after the breaths went in, and it analyzed, and it said administer a shock shock advised.
Was that scary for you?
I wasn't thinking when I was doing it. We just went through it, shocked him.
You had to make sure nobody was touching him too, right?
Correct. When you're doing all of those procedures, it tells you to stand clear. And so at that point, you tell everyone to stand clear in the area. You press the shock button, and then it reanalyzes, and it said no shock advised. So I gave him rescue breathing, which was, one breath, and then you count, and then you give another one. I did that 3 times, and then he started to breathe, which was just wonderful. And then we rotated him on his side, and he was breathing. He wasn't blue anymore, so I knew he was getting.
Exciting.
Yeah, I knew he was getting oxygen, so it was great.
Do you have oxygen here?
No, we do not. We do not carry it on the facility. And so he then was taken care of by the emergency medical services that arrived. And at that point, I just helped clean up everything and, then looked at Robbie Gill and said, okay, let's go back to our day. So
was Robbie standing here?
Robbie, I think, was standing here most of the time. When I looked up, it was Robbie that I saw, which is great, because I knew that he was here to support. And there were a lot of people around that were here to help and support.
Was there a big crowd standing around watching this?
No, we actually cleared out the facility of this area, because in that case, we need to have access to help, the victim in any shape that we can. So, no, we cleared it all out, and then staff was just remaining to be on hand for help.
I checked with Talbot County Emergency Services this morning, and they said the actual time from when the phone call went in to actually getting here was 5 minutes. That must have seemed like an hour to you.
It did. It didn't, when it was all said and done, I wasn't sure, how long I've been doing stuff and what I've been doing. And it was really great when the medical officer came back and showed me the printout from the AED, which I've never seen before. So that was really great to see. And I actually shared that later with the lifeguard staff to show them how effective the machine was and, how it can save someone's life. So, yeah.
That's great. That's terrific. So that was your first save on an AED. Have you saved anybody as a lifeguard?
Just little saves here and there, just reaching down, helping a kid who can't get his footing, or, helping someone who has, slipped in the water, just helping them back up. The only major save I've ever had with aquatics is I had a boating instructor who got run over by a small propellant boat, and we had to backboard her and bring her in off the waterfront. And she did very well. She recovered very nicely. And so, that was my only major save on the waterfront.
So have you talked to Mr. Warfield?
I went to see him a couple of days after the incident, and he was sitting up, eating in the hospital, and had a big smile on his face. And it was great to see that he was able to sit there and talk with his son and just be well. So that's all I could ask for.
That's great. That's super. Well, we're here with Aaron, and we're our hero at the YMCA, and we thank you very much for all that training that you took, and I'll bet you'll do it again.
Yes, I'll do anything for anybody who needs help. So yes, I was very thankful that he's okay. That's all I could ever ask for.
We're now going to go to a video of the county council, where the Talbot Paramedic Foundation made a presentation, and we can also see 2 other people that saved somebody in Talbot County this year as a result of the AED defibrillator program.
Some years ago, Talbot County became one of the pioneer counties in the location of defibrillator devices throughout the community, and critical in that effort were Will Howard and Wayne Dyatt, but I don't see Mr. Dyatt. Is he coming?
Wayne is on his way.
Okay, so we will wait, because Mr. Dyatt should definitely be here.
He told me to go ahead forward. He's driving from North Carolina, so he may not be.
Oh, I didn't. I thought he was just coming from Harper Place.
No, you're wrong way.
Okay. Then come forward, if you would, please, Mr. Howard. Mr. Howard actually was pretty much the liaison in the community. Mr. Dyatt and Mr. Harrison function as liaisons from the county council to help make all this happen. And Mr. Howard, would you like to tell us a little bit about what we have out there?
Yeah, I'd like to tell you about that. And first of all, I'd like to thank you for giving us this opportunity. For those of you who don't know what Talbot Paramedic Foundation is, we were formed 1 year after 5 volunteers decided to take on the job themselves, unpaid, to be paramedics 24 hours a day. It was a pretty amazing feat. We formed our board of directors to try and raise money and try and financially support them, as well as try and convince the county council to take them on as an agency. Of course, the county council did that a number of years ago, and the paramedics have saved many, many lives thanks to that, and it's now the largest agency, I understand, of the county government.
Yes, and we have, I think, 2 members of the county councils past who were involved in that.
We were going to introduce our board members, and that would be Andy Anderson was vice president of the county council, and Sylvia Gannon was a member of the council. Sylvia was one of our founding board members, and Sheila Wainwright, why don't you stand up, is our secretary treasurer for 22 years.
Wow.
We continue today. Our role now is not just to basically try and support them financially. We help with those Talbot County citizens who cannot afford to do paramedic training, who want to become paramedics in Talbot County, so we support them. We also try and come up with some ideas to make Talbot County more safe. And one of those ideas that you alluded to was the distribution and raising the funds for these AEDs, automated external defibrillators, which have saved a number of lives of Talbot County citizens. We're very proud of that. And in that regard, we'd like to invite up one of our founding partners of that program, Allison Tilley, General Manager of Lowe's, contributed $10,000. Al, come forward. And also Teresa Messick and Billy Cooper, who are employees of Lowe's. You guys come forward. An incident occurred in February of this year, and I'd like Billy to just give us a minute and explain what happened.
It was in the morning time. Me and Teresa were working. We have our RTM clerk was in the back of the store in the receiving area. Me and Teresa were out on the floor doing what we do. This employee kind of fell down on her desk and semi-unconscious. The receiving manager was right there. She paged for me and Teresa to come back there, which we came back there. She was unresponsive. Her eyes were still open. She still had a pulse. She was breathing. So we just told her to call 911, and we sat there with her, awaiting the paramedic units from the county. And upon that time, she became unresponsive. We laid her out on the floor, told them that we had a cardiac arrest, to call the 911 center back, tell them there was 2 EMTs there, which we've both been EMTs for about 18 years. And paged for our defibrillator to be brought back to us at that time. We shocked her 3 times, and 2 county units got there, seemed like instantly, fortunately. They undid our plugs off there to the pads, hooked them to theirs. Upon that time, they got a pulse back. Then she's walking, talking, breathing today. So our biggest thing is God give us the talent to do this, but without the cooperation of Lowe's and other businesses, the chance would be slim if we did not have that machine.
I'd like to ask Brian Lacates if he'd come forward. He has a presentation. I understand the council has a presentation as well. And Clay, would you join us?
Everybody knows Mr. Clay Stampler, Director of Emergency Services. This is Meg Stein. She's one of our paramedics and also one of the key assets to the AED CPR program that we maintain. She's a very big part of the education and the coordination of it. On behalf of Talbot County Emergency Services and the Paramedic Foundation, we'd like to present this award to Lowe's for being continued supporters of the AED program. Be careful, they're not attached. And one to each one of the guys for doing such a great job and knowing when to use the AED and using it properly and saving a life. That was great. thank you guys for being such an integral part of our program.
All right, we also have a commendation. Will the clerk read the commendation, please?
Council's commendation to Billy Cooper in recognition of your service and dedication to the citizens of Talbot County by going above and beyond the call of duty and offering life-saving assistance to a fellow human being, Geraldine Jones. We hereby bestow upon you, as a token of the esteem and gratitude of our community, this certificate of commendation.
And you have similar commendations for, we just read the names.
Ms. Messick's is the same. Mr. Santilli's is a little bit different. Council's commendation to Allison Tilley, General Manager, Lowe's of Easton, Maryland, in recognition of Lowe's service and dedication to the citizens of Talbot County as the first corporate sponsor of Operation Save Heart, a program to distribute AED defibrillators in county facilities and private businesses, a program which served as a model for other AED programs and was so successful it was recognized as the premier public access defibrillator program in the nation by the International Association of Fire Chiefs in 2001. We hereby bestow upon you, as a token of the esteem and gratitude of our community, the certificate of commendation.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt these certificates as printed? So moved by Mr. Pack, second by Mr. Duncan. Clerk will take the call.
Mr. Foster?
Aye.
Mr. Pack?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Bartlett? Aye. Mr. Harrison?
Aye.
Now, presenting the certificates on behalf of the council will be Mr. Harrison, who, just as Councilman Anderson and Councilman, well, the other council, Dye. Yeah, pardon? No, Cannon.
Yeah.
Were instrumental in starting the paramedic program. Thank you. Councilman Harrison and Councilman Dyatt were both instrumental in bringing this particular project to the attention of their colleagues and shepherding it through. And so I'm sure he'll have something he'll want to say about this.
First of all, it gives me great pleasure to present these first two accommodations on behalf of the citizens and the council of Talbot County to Billy Cooper and Teresa Messick.
Thank you. Thanks, sir.
And also to Al Santilli, General Manager of Lowe's. Is Gary Stewart here?
Gary's not.
Gary's not. I understand. Certificate for them also. The AED program started through the Talbot County Paramedic Foundation was actually, I believe, the brainchild of Mr. Howard and Mr. Dodge. And I came on board after we had a brief meeting to discuss it. It would not have happened without the community of Talbot County, and Talbot County being the way it is. It was a collaborative effort between Talbot County government, Lowe's, a couple other big corporate sponsors, that we came up with the idea in the presence of what an AED could do out on the street among normal people who were just trained a brief 3-hour or less course in how to operate it, what kind of life-saving impact we could have on Talbot County. And it's my pleasure to be able to go with Mr. Dyatt and Mr. Mulligan, our retired emergency management director, to pick up the award from the International Association of Fire Chiefs in 2001. We were honored as the nationwide as the premier county. At that point, we had 45 units out in the county. I think now we have 163 units, and people trained to use them all in Talbot County. It's not the fact that there's a paramedic on the way or the paramedics are trained, it's the fact that normal lay people are trained in the use of this device and can use it to help save their neighbor's life. And to me, that's the most impressive thing about the whole program. And it was an honor to pick that award up, but it's a much bigger honor to be able to present you guys with a certificate that the program worked and we saved the life of Talbot County. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
If the council has a couple more minutes, I'd like to tell you about another program that we're going to be starting First of all, I'd like to identify the sponsors of Safe Home, and Lowe's and Allison Tinn's here. And if you all would stand up in the back and I call your name. Stacy Mons, General Manager of WCEI, and Matt Spence, Program Director. Hill's Drugstore, Mimi Shanahan and Jenny Harrison. And Chesapeake Publishing. Is there something from Chesapeake Publishing? Well, I'm going to ask Chief C.R. Chance, who is going to lead the Talbot County Fire Rescue Association in the one phase of this project. Can you come up, C.R.? Can I take your picture?
Everybody's probably wondering who the guy with the plunger is. I just basically wanted to touch on Operation Safe House. Operation Safe House is going to take place on October the 10th, and that's a Saturday after the week long, which is Fire Prevention Week. Last time we did this, Department of Social Services comprised a target list for the Talbot County Fire Companies, where we went out and we targeted areas that might need help and put smoke detectors up. This year we're going to do the same thing. Also, we're going to have a phone number that people can call. That phone number is 410-822-0095. There'll be an operator there that will take a call. If you're interested in smoke detector that day being put up, you'll call in and be asked a few questions, the address and all that, and we'll come out that day. That'll assure you that you'll be on the list that day to have a smoke detector put up. I just want to demonstrate how we do it. The tools are simple. We'll have a 5-gallon bucket, a plunger, smoke detector, two-way sided tape just goes in. You stick it up onto the ceiling. After it's up onto the ceiling, you'll turn it over. There's a little button on here, press, and make sure it's operational. We're also, if anybody in the community is interested in helping that day, we'll be meeting in the Lowe's parking lot that morning, and you'll be teamed up with your local fire department members, and go out and assist us that way.
That's a good job.
And will you help people find where they should locate them so they'd be
Yes, we'll make
best
sure they
used?
have adequate smoke detectors in their house, make sure they're placed properly. Even if they already have smoke detectors, we have a supply of batteries. We'll go in and change them for you.
How many do you generally get a year? How many units do you put up? And
500. We'll have 500 units.
500?
Plus we'll have batteries.
Good.
To replace the batteries that are worn. This program is, every fire department in the county is participating in this. They're going out with teams of volunteers who are going to be knocking on doors. And this was very successful when we did it 15 years ago. Matter of fact, we had one person called in and complained that the smoke detector that we installed was making noise. Unfortunately, they weren't on the 911 line because we could have recorded the conversation, but they actually, the person answered the call said, has it occurred to you that your house could be on fire? And she said, no. And he said, do you smell smoke? And she said, well, as a matter of fact, I do. And her house was on fire. that very day.
Oh my God.
There's another part of this program, and I'm going to ask Brian LaCates to talk about this. This was an idea that Wayne Diet came up with. As a paramedic, he'd go out. He would find that an elderly couple, in particular a woman may have collapsed, and the husband was speechless and could not answer questions on what kind of medicine, causing the paramedic to guess, which is very dangerous. So we came up with this idea to put medical information, and Wayne said, what does everybody have one of? And
I think we just set it up.
we speculated, and we said a freezer compartment. So we now have an information packet that goes out in an envelope with a plastic bag. Brian's going to show it. People fill out the information, they put it in the plastic bag in the freezer, and then they put a sticker on the front of the freezer to tell us it's there.
These are the freezer packs. This is how it's mailed to you, with a form in it that has all the pertinent medical information, next of kin information. For some reason, you know, the patient is unable to speak or having whatever medical emergency. We can access this. If we see this sticker, we would know that it's in the freezer. We can go in the freezer and pull this out, and hopefully has all their medical information updated with allergies, medications that they currently have, and their history. A next of kin if we needed to get in touch with somebody that in an emergency situation. Mr. Howard and the Paramedic Foundation are currently working on getting another wave out to where they're going to be mailed out, And this year they're going to have the emergency preparedness guide in there as well from emergency management. He's teaming up with EMS and emergency management to be able to get this information out. So it's going to be a little bit additional in this time.
We talked with Kathy Foster today, and she wants to include an insert in that envelope on the swine flu, H1 and S1 flu. So these will go out in September. We'd like to have people aware of the fact that they're coming, and we also put them in the drugstores. And this is funded by Lowe's, Chesapeake Publishing, WCEI, and Hill's Drugstore. We greatly appreciate their help in helping us finance this. We'd also like to invite the public to participate in this. They can participate in two ways. They can make a check out and send it to us at Safe Home at P.O. Box 629, Easton, and we will use those funds to help pay for this mailing and also to help buy smoke detectors. We'd also invite them to come to Lowe's, as we said before, and participate with us on the day that we check on smoke detectors. And we thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to tell you about what's going to happen.
Well, thank you, Mr. Howard. And in case you were wondering what was going on up here while you were talking, speaking of emergency situations, evidently this room is used sometimes as a courtroom. We let them use it as an auxiliary courtroom, and there's a panic button in here that evidently went off and panicked the deputy. And he was up here trying to figure out why it was going off. I don't know if it's still going off or not, but it's nothing that you said.
Well, we got the coverage here to take care of it.
Whatever problem you have.
I would also note, Mr. Howard, that Sunday in church, they mentioned the AEDs, and there had been, the pastor had seen a medical incident recently or heard of one, and involving a member of the congregation, and he wanted to know how many of you people know where they are, and made it point to, how many of you people could use them, because it's no good to us if you don't know where they are. And
that's true.
I was one of the ones who didn't know where they were, so I was glad that he pointed out.
That's great. Clay, I'm going to ask if you'll summarize our future partnership.
I will, and I just want to mention, I don't know if Brian mentioned or not, just the other day, we had a call over at the YMCA, and a gentleman was actually...
Well, that was the incident.
Exactly, on the treadmill, and he went into cardiac arrest, and the staff over there took immediate action, got the AED, and actually converted him back into a rhythm, and he is actually recovering as we speak. And he woke up. So it does work. It's a great program. And I just wanted to mention that, before I came to work as your Director of Emergency Services, you all know that I was the Deputy Director of EMS for the state of Maryland. And having that perspective, I can say to you that it's unprecedented, the program you have here in Talbot County. And I remember when Buddy and Wayne and the group, Bobby Higgins and all of you worked to put these AEDs in, but it's an unprecedented program. It's something to be proud of. And moving forward, we're going to be working with the Paramedic Foundation to add to our capabilities. One of the things we're looking at is looking to add on the paramedic units a device that allows us to measure the oxygen saturation in your bloodstream as well as carbon monoxide levels in your bloodstream. State-of-the-art equipment that we wouldn't be able to do if we didn't have this partnership with the Paramedic Foundation and the significant support we see from the County Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Harrison, they always forget there were two other people on that council.
And I will add, Mr. Foster, it was a unanimous decision when we funded that program. And to summarize it very quickly, what happened was we put together 5 corporate sponsors, Mr. Howard, and some other money from the community, and the county matched that. You put together $50,000 and the county matched $50,000, if I remember my numbers right, to be able to buy a pool of these AEDs. And by doing that, we lowered the cost to any group or organization that wanted to buy them by about $3,000, what they would have bought them off the shelf for, to be able to afford to put them out in the community. And
that's correct.
That collaboration made that work for the first 40 or 50 units that we got out. And while you guys are still there in front of the TV camera, Brian or Will, if people are interested in adding an AED to their community organization or their workplace, who should they contact? Where should they call?
Feel free to contact myself at 410-770-8142, and that is the EMS number. They can get in touch with any one of the EMS providers, and they could put them in touch with me. If they don't remember that number or feel comfortable, they can certainly contact me, and we'll come out and talk to them about the training and what all is involved. And we give them the AEDs at cost. which are currently $1,400 for a great machine. So.
Let me say, Mr. Chance, I know that's not high-tech equipment that you're using right there to install that smoke detector, but I know they do work. I was just listening to a story the other day in Baltimore City where their fire department has a similar program. They go into homes and install smoke detectors. Well, they got a call that afternoon, and the very house that they had installed a smoke detector in that morning had caught on fire. And so they had to respond back to the house, and luckily the smoke detector did its job. Everyone got out of the house safely, so it may not be high-tech equipment, but it definitely does work, and it does save lives.
And also, you want to talk about Safety Saturday?
Yes, just for a second. Lowe's and the National Safety Foundation, which is comprised of a lot of large corporations, are sponsoring Safety Saturday, which is September 26th. And that's a nationwide day. The Talbot County Emergency Management Service has had a phone conference in reference. They're participating. Easton Fire Department will be there with their fire prevention trailer. Talbot EMS will be there. Blood pressure screenings. Easton Town Police will have child safety seat checks. We'll just have a large demonstration of various fire equipment from the county will also be there. Law enforcement, hopefully the health department, YMCA, just get everybody together and promote home safety. And that'd be from 10 to 2 in the Lowe's parking lot.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you.
This is Will Howard, signing off.